call the meeting to order. If you would stand and face the American flag, and Billy will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Billy. I want to welcome everyone to our meeting this evening, and we will have time for visitors shortly, and you guys can address the council as you see fit. First item on the agenda here is approval of the regular meeting minutes on February 20th. Everyone should have received those in an email. We've gone over the weekend.
Harold, is your mic on?
It is. Green light's on.
Turn it up a little bit. It's not like it's not.
Okay. So approval of the regular meeting minutes on February 20th. Does anybody have any questions or?
Mics aren't working.
Mics aren't working?
Is it on in there? Sorry, technical difficulties.
Do what?
When we were us, we didn't have one.
No. No. No.
Check.
No.
Check.
Check.
One,
One, two.
3, 4.
Yeah.
Next.
If you guys will bear with us a few minutes, we'll get this working, or we'll go on without it. One, two.
Did a good job, Lori.
Yeah.
I'm sure it had something to do with the power being out the other day. We had all kinds of technology issues.
Roaring 20s.
Sure. Wesley, Elsa said they can hear it broadcasting, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Ilsa at? We know how long to yell.
I'm not going to put the card in, so maybe it'll pick it up.
Clarkson.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
can you get me electricity at my house?
I ought to be able to take care of that.
Everybody in my neighborhood is asking. Can you do something about that?
Recording too.
Yeah, he's supposed to take care of Casey, I think, that.
He's a talented man.
Yeah. Okay, we'll carry on then. Approval of regular meeting minutes for February 20th. If no one has any questions or anything on those,
So
I'll
moved.
entertain a. Billy second. Billy first, Gina second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Approval, ratification of bills. As I said earlier, the council got these Friday in an email to allow them to go over them over the weekend, so.
I make a motion.
Clayton make a motion to accept the.
Second.
Tootie second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. So we are down to visitors. Grayson County High School senior officers. Someone want to come up to the mic and?
Hello, my name is Caleb Jenkins. I'm Grayson County High School Senior Class President.
My name is Margola Sinton, and I'm the senior class treasurer.
I'm Allie Dodson, and I'm the senior class secretary.
I'm Allie Morgan, and I'm senior class reporter.
And we are here to discuss the 2023 Grayson County High School prom and its location. Our theme that we were planning is the Roaring 20s. We plan to have it from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. on May 13th, which is a Saturday. We are wanting to have it on the square, the east side of the square. Students and visitors would be able to park in the Sicilian Bank parking lot and the old hospital parking lot. We want to sell the tickets for $25. 10 to 15 chaperones will be attending. We want to have the square in use from 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. And K105 said they would partner with GCHS and the community so parents can view that from home.
Last year's prom was at the Grayson County Square, and we had over 500 students present and over 30 chaperones, and we expect a bigger crowd this year.
Our location plan, we would like to use the east side part of the square like we did last year. We feel this would be the safest side for the students with utilizing the new parking and the safe entrance underneath the bank.
For a cleanup plan, we're going to start about 11:10, take an hour or two. All the chaperones, volunteers, or anybody willing to help will help us with that. The square will reopen by 1 a.m., but last year it was open by 12. Senior sponsors said they have something planned, that possibly a street sweeper would be supplied, and we plan to have trash cans spread out as well for that.
Everything always has to have a backup plan. So we make our final decision on Wednesday, May 10th. If there is a greater chance of rain, we will move it to the Grayson County High School gym and we'll start decorating as soon as possible on the next day.
Your partnership means everything to us. How can we make this work? We would like the square lighting to be in good working order to help the ambiance of our prom theme this year. We would love to get local businesses involved by having them decorate their windows and advertise, which could even be a photo op for students. We will be collaborating with county and city law enforcement for security. Officer Melton, the school resource officer, will coordinate this with Sheriff Chaffins and Chief David Riley. We would also like to reinstate that our prom committee teachers have a surprise plan for us, and they wanted to request a street sweeper for that plan. We are open to all of your recommendations and suggestions to improving prom. We would love to hear your ideas and thoughts on how we could work together to make prom this year even better. Do you have any community support ideas, cleanup, setup, etc.? We love our community and we want them to be involved.
With your help, this is going to be a cherished continuation of a new tradition at the Grayson County High School.
That's it for us. If y'all have any questions or recommendations, you now are free to tell us anything.
The street sweeper you was talking about, is that the street sweeper that the city uses? Okay.
Yes.
So we gotta organize it and get it for that day before y'all start, in other words, get it
Yes.
cleaned.
What days does he, I know he comes on Wednesdays, Lori.
Yeah, I think it's Tuesdays or Wednesdays, just depending on how his schedule is. Most of the time he tries to come Wednesday nights, I think.
Think if we got a hold of him soon enough that he could come up on Friday during the day and,
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He's pretty good to work with.
Do they need it during the day or
want- I was
after?
gonna say, you
I'm
want it
I'm
night?
thinking it's gonna be
You want it
after
night.
prom. I'm thinking some kind of confetti or
stuff.
something.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was,
I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure Wesley can ask him. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
and if he falls through, there'll be a way.
yeah.
We'll have the square cleaned up for you guys
Yeah.
to start with. And pray for pretty weather. You had perfect weather last year, so if you, while you're praying for pretty weather, mention the fiddling contest in on that too. Just kind of- But anybody got any questions for these guys?
I've
And
got
girls?
I do have a suggestion. If you want to, Councilman Miller actually lived in the 20s, so if you need technical support, he would be the guy to go to for that.
He's still got a feather boa in his closet.
Yes, I do.
Well, I hope it works out for you guys. I think, do we need a vote on this, Lori?
Not
Or not?
necessarily. I don't think
Okay.
so. Long as you all are in consensus, we're
Okay.
good.
Everybody good?
Great
Yeah,
idea,
good.
guys, great idea.
I think it's wonderful.
I hope it
We're,
works out good for you.
Have a good time.
We appreciate your time, and thanks for listening to us.
Thank you.
David?
I'd like to make a comment. They done this last year, and I was very impressed. It was well organized, no issues whatsoever. Chaperones, teachers, everything was in order. It went very well. Very impressed.
Yeah,
Very
I heard that
impressed
it
with
did, so.
And I think that last year we had a meeting about a month or so before the actual prom with Officer Melvin and some of the different prom committee members and stuff. So we may want to do that again just to make sure that everybody's on board with, that we haven't forgot anything. So sometime, about a month ahead of time, we'll try to figure out some date.
Hey, we got new garbage cans now, so we can set them back.
Yeah,
So I'll try to make a note and get with Chase, and we'll figure something out.
but I
Thank
think it's a
you.
good thing.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you guys doing it on the square. Our square's moving along, trying to upgrade some things up there. We're thankful for that too, but thanks for what you guys do, and I hope you have good weather and a good time.
And I am the oldie, the tootie's right behind me.
You guys have any more questions for any of us?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just stay in touch,
Good luck.
like with Chief Riley, and if you need anything at City Hall, you can call me or Lori or any of the girls down here, and anything pops up, let us know, okay?
Y'all have a great time. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Thank all of you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
On behalf of Grayson County Schools, we would like to thank you for your support, and having had several of you in the school, I expect you to be there to help. Thank you so much. We really, these students are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I tried to walk up there last year and walk my dog around to see what was going on, and I couldn't get up there.
But thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
All right, y'all can pay for me.
Okay, next visitors on the agenda will be baseball parents. One of you guys want to come up and talk to us about what your thoughts are? April, you picked a spokesman. I think everybody's looking at you.
All eyes are on you, lady.
More than one of you can speak to.
Yeah, both of you,
Yeah.
come on up here.
Yeah, just speak, if you want to speak, feel free to go up there. That way it's recorded so we can hear everything.
So I think that most of you were here during our meeting. Last year, we kind of battled with it Friday nights, and we found a solution to play on Friday nights. We want our kids to use our community, or our community to use our fields, and our kids to use our fields. That's what it was built for. It was built for our community. The tournaments are not an issue. We're glad they're here, great. But I think the tournaments are causing an issue for us to be able to play on Friday night. And I think that a bunch of parents, I mean, some couldn't be here tonight, but feel very strongly that our kids should be using our fields on Friday night, and there has to be a solution found to that. We don't want to battle this every year. So I'm on the baseball board, but I'm here more now as a parent, because my child plays on that field. So that's basically the gist of it. And I think you guys were in the last meeting, and you kind of know the board's thoughts on it. Every board member is 100% for Friday nights.
Okay.
And we, as we said before, we support Jody, we support Tammy. They do a great job. We don't want Jody overworked. We understand he works a tremendous amount of hours. But it's a 10-week program, and we just want a solution found, so.
Okay. Thanks, April.
I think that's it. My thing was Friday nights, that opens up for parents that can't be there through the week. second shift, third shift, grandparents. That was my only thing that they can be there. So see their kids or grandkids or whatever play.
Okay.
And like most of us, we've all been around travel ball too. We've played on those fields both ways. So, and I've talked to Jody about it. I know Jody, he puts in way more hours than most. And I even said I'd volunteer. Whether that can be worked out or whatever, then we can work it out. But I don't want Jody overworked. We'll have to work that out. We'll have to figure that out.
Okay.
That's voicing our opinions on that.
Okay.
Jody, if something happens that you get sick and are down for a while, who takes your place and takes care of it? Are there no way to hire a part-time?
I've got a helper, David Clemens, and then, so he would probably fall right in behind me, so.
But for the Friday nights, can he do that? Or is he full-time already?
David will do anything up here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause that
if you
way
would,
it'd be
please.
recorded, Jody, sorry.
My mouth's the only one in here that carries.
David, he would, from time to time, periodically, if something was to come up on this Friday night here, he would help me in a bind in a situation, okay? Now, would we want to rely on David every Friday? No. He's in a unique situation where he doesn't have to, he does this just for something to do, a purpose. He's not looking for his well-being or his livelihood of working. He's just doing this for a purpose. So on a Friday night, occasionally, he wouldn't mind it. He probably wouldn't like it, but he would do it. But it's not something that is going to be something every Friday night where he's going to want to fulfill. No.
Are there some way that we could hire a part-time person to strictly do Friday night?
I'm not in control of the budget, so as far as the hiring process, that's not on me. So, yeah, I'm sure that could probably be worked out, but yet, if you can find that right fit to fit that criteria, yes. I mean, you wouldn't want a 16-year-old kid out there doing that and whatnot, so.
How many nights a week do you go to the ballpark?
I'm sorry?
How many nights a week? How many nights a week do you go to the
Am I at the
ballpark?
ballpark?
Yeah.
Throughout the week, Monday through Thursday, I'm not.
Gotcha.
Who gets the fields ready for Monday through Thursday?
I do, during the daytime.
I mean, before, I'm kind of old timer, so.
I got you.
I've been here a while. Before, when we hired the directors of the fields, softball program and Little League program, they took care of getting the fields ready. Is that a problem with Gary getting the field ready on Friday night after the games are over? You wouldn't have to come do it. But you don't have to be there as long as he's there. As long as the director of the park's in the park, even down to a board member, it's got to be somebody that, and Lori can probably check, but Gary's considered an employee while he's director because he's drawing a salary, just like whoever is in softball. So in the past, that's where I didn't understand, because when the directors in the past, they hired their concession stand, they hired their umpires, they hired their bookkeepers, because they knew the kids that knew how and was going to do it. It's gotten away from that because Tammy she's the Parks and Rec director. Sure. So that's, I mean, I would ask Gary, is Gary going to be your director? I mean, is Gary the director of the park on Little League?
Yeah, baseball, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, that's been part of their job. And so, I don't know if you want to go that route, if you want to go a different route, but that's just what we've done for 16 years, or until you come up with that job, so.
Billy, I did ask Lauren a while ago about the volunteers. They'll be covered, am I correct? We just got to make sure that they're of age.
Don't they have to get a background check? If you're around the kids?
Yes, they should.
So any volunteer that you have that's going to be around kids, just like coaches, will have to be background checked?
Yeah. And I think you all already do that, don't you, Tammy?
Yes, sir.
Jody, my understanding was like the equipment, or the dragging the field and stuff like that. That's, I mean,
Gary could drag it because he's.
but what I'm saying is like the
Yes.
volunteers, like if I volunteered, it's an insurance issue.
Exactly.
So we would be doing whatever else we were able to do.
Well, and like I said, I'm old time, so in the past, we hired kids from school.
Right.
Kids from school mowed the grass, kids from school got the fields ready, they lined them.
Right.
Like I said, it's just changed a little bit with Tammy's program, that the way it's being run now,
So
so.
what we were saying was, it's Friday night, it's 8 to 10 weeks, 4 hours a Friday night, am I correct? Right around there? I mean, you do it, Jody, that's what I'm asking. That's what we were told. It takes you 4 hours a night per field, or what is it, 45 minutes per field? A night.
So, and my question to, I guess to Gary was, and you won't know until signups are over, but how many fields you gonna utilize on Friday night? You gonna utilize all of them? Or are you gonna have, if you had 4 teams play, why wouldn't you do 2 teams on one field, 2 teams on the other, play one at 5:30 and one at 7, or whatever the hour is? I don't know, and leave one field that don't even have touch.
Right.
You know, plus you save on umpires for that field, plus.
We may have done that last year, though.
That's what I'm saying. And if you have 2 games, you play them on one field. I'm just trying to think simple. I mean, or keep him from,
Well, the other thing too was, if Jody likes doing the fields, then can his hours be, instead of working 18 hours on a Friday, where he works his regular time plus the time he puts into the fields, can that be cut a little bit
well,
during on a Friday or
I think his
whatever?
job's 8 to 4.
Well, but
It's
you know
exactly
what
what
I'm
it
saying,
is.
but-
And I don't know
but
that,
he-
I don't know that he would agree to come in and work 12 to 8 on Friday.
Right.
Or 12 to 8 on Thursday, or what,
Yeah.
whatever. I think that's the decision Jody's gonna have to make, and Tammy can approve it, and they wanna do that. I think once you get into cutting her hours like that, it's gonna turn him off, okay?
Yeah.
So then if Jody gets burnt from doing that, then where you at? Then where you gonna be? Because Jody wasn't an easy find and an easy fix.
Oh,
When we first got him, I mean, there wasn't very many people
apply.
apply. You know, just like your director. I mean, several people had to call him and offer him whatever you know, in the past to get Gary Lee to come. So, I mean,
Well,
I don't think everybody's out there. Do you have a softball director?
We have 2 applicants. We're going to meet on Thursday and review them.
That's just a little insight from me. I mean, there are other ones I'm sure has questions, but
Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say, that's about
Me
it.
either.
It's-
I guess what I'm thinking, and I keep hearing Jody, and Jody, you must be a phenomenal worker. However, this is a city-run program through our city government, and we should have more than one person who can do the fields. Whether that falls back on the director, which I guess I'm old school too, but I mean, that used to be part of the director's qualifications, requirements. I mean, that just kind of went hand in hand. Obviously, he loves the game and the programs, and he knows what he's doing. I've known him since I was a kid. He played baseball for my dad. He knows how the lines go on. Another thing that I'm thinking about is, you hear a lot of talk about kids, young adults, they have no work ethic, whatever. This is when we should be teaching them. If we have our youth working for us during the city or during the summer, then this would be a good time for the director or Jody or Tammy or whoever. They need to be taught responsibility and how to draw the lines on the field, and know they're not going to get it perfect the first time. That's a learning process, but you're instilling responsibility and work ethics on them. I just feel like there's a better solution to this than basing an entire program and Friday night off of paying one person overtime.
well, to the other side of that, you get a rainy week.
Right.
Jody ain't got ours. If we start him at 12 on Friday or something, if it rains on Friday, you're rained out, he's short 8 hours. Being full, I mean,
It shouldn't.
I don't see why we can't work it out somehow,
Yeah, right.
but I think it's feasible. But like I said, I don't know how many teams did, y'all know better than me, how many teams played on Friday night last year? I mean, did you have more than 4?
I'm sorry.
Did you have more than 4? 4 teams, that's 2 games?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have,
Probably 4, and there's sometimes unscheduled shows, maybe.
and that would help, you was talking about the parents and people getting there, that would help them too if you had a later game. That may help people that get off late, not get to the 5:30 game, and they get that opportunity also.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jody?
At the end of the day, it's all gonna work out, so
So we can make it work.
It's an 8 to 10 week program, good or bad, I'm here for the long haul, it's gonna work out.
We're gonna work it out. Is that,
We just don't want to put you in the hospital.
is that satisfied you all?
We
I mean,
have volunteers that are willing to, like I told them, I don't work on Friday. I will sign something, whatever, I'll do background checks, whatever, and I will do whatever Jody wants, or whoever's in charge of it, or whatever, we will do it.
yeah, well, and I don't wanna call nobody out, but back then too, the board members did the work also, because they were part of the city. So Lori and Jeremy, they lots of time, lots of hours. Me, there's a lot of people that spend a lot of times there that were just associated with the city that was on that board that did a lot of it. And I know everybody's got a job. I mean, most of your board members, I'm sure, work all the time. And so it's hard for them too, but it's just changed.
Tammy, I know that you've been advertising for umpires at the parks, and I think I saw something about advertising for the aquatic center for workers. So what at our ballparks do you hire for besides umpires?
Scorekeepers and concession workers. So they are good with concession workers, but for softball, I just talked to a couple of girls, I have no umpires for softball, and I have 3 umpires for baseball. So that's the issue, is just getting them, I know teaching work ethics, but the thing is getting them to work, getting them there and wanting them to be there to work.
We got to give them an opportunity,
No, I think
and that
the
falls back on
opportunity is
us and
there.
everything.
I guarantee it. It's there, it's just getting them to get there and wanting to, the concession stand, clean the toilets, clean the bathrooms.
Right, I get that,
It's
but
a lot that some kids, if they don't want it, they walk away.
Well, I think you're getting ready to have budget meetings anyway, and we're gonna take care of it this year, but next year you might, and even if Jody has a baseball player, whatever, that he can start training to do the fields, or stripe the fields, or hang out with them in the afternoons, I'm sure, and get 4 or 5 hours. I doubt that they would disapprove that, okay? So we always did it in the past, and I think to be successful, Jody's gonna need a little backup, because I don't know that David's gonna work at me Fridays. So, like I said, and he's real good. Jody hit him to a T. He's real good about it. If you need him, he's there. But he won't do it every Friday.
I wouldn't expect them to.
So Tammy, do you think we can work it out with?
That's what I told them, I'm trying to find all the options, try to make everything work out, and for having volunteers, that's a big help right there. I mean, it really is. Or we can ask Gary if he's willing to step up and learn how to use the AEI, drag the fields.
And it's one of them, did you ask about raking the field? I don't think we have any trouble with you raking the field. I think it's motorized equipment is what
That's what I meant.
is what the problem would be. But, yeah,
Used to, old school, was raking the field, you had a lawnmower with a thing on the back.
Yeah.
It's probably something
yes.
nice.
Well, you get a rainy day and you gotta put sand on, or you gotta do something. Jody can't do it all by herself, so why not jump in there if your kid's playing there to help them get through the games?
Yeah, I think volunteers will make a big
Just as long as you listen to the guidance that he's giving you on how to do it, because believe it or not, we spend a lot of money on that dirt there. Just whatever we can do to make it work, but I think y'all can make it work, sounds like to me. But
Tammy, is Gary does he have a contract, or how is that?
He just fills out an application. Now, he has a job description. But
Okay.
He just fills out the application, that's all we go by. And then he's paid for 10 weeks, just like the softball director, they're paid a certain amount of money for 10 weeks.
Sure. Does he get a
Per season,
1099?
I apologize. It's per season, we just break it out to 10 weeks.
Okay. Does he get a 1099, or is he an employee of the city?
He's an employee.
Okay. So his job description would detail what he does and what he doesn't do.
Correct.
So does that talk about the field or anything like that? Do you
We
know?
never had them do the preparation, so it's not in his job description at this time. That would be something that we would have to change.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, that softball, some of them actually just did it anyway. They got down there early to try to help Jody out, and some of them did it, but Jody was a baseball director a few years ago, so he pretty much took care of that. But usually the softball director usually tries to help out.
The only other thing I had was about the survey. Was that done on?
It was done, we had a few on there. I want to say there was probably 15 that actually filled out the survey.
Do you expect more, or is that?
Yeah, we're going to have, Thursday night, we're going to have registration again.
Okay.
It'll be a live registration at softball.
So that would be a pretty good feel about how, but 15 is really not a good representation.
How did the Clarkson accept no gate?
I didn't have, nobody has said anything bad about it. They said they would do what we were doing.
So specifically ask about no gate?
I talked to,
You might want to.
the city clerk at Clarkson. They called me and asked me about everything that was going on, what they needed to do for baseball. Same thing with Caneyville. And they said that they would go along with whatever we did.
Are they joining the association too?
Yes.
So all the parks are,
Yes.
all the
They were
cities?
underneath us.
So when is your next board meeting?
Or
Baseball?
That's the board.
they usually have a board meeting after they pick teams.
We'll get together before we do the skills day on the 18th. We usually don't have a set date for our board meetings. We kind of say, okay, when are we available, let's get together.
So is that when you all think you anticipate deciding on Friday nights or no Friday nights?
I'll be working on it until then.
Okay.
Dude, you got anything?
I think we need to play on Friday nights.
Yes.
That's what it was built for. It's built for our children here to play, and they've always played on Friday nights. And I think it ought to be for them to play, one way or the other. If you gotta hire somebody for help, we have to hire somebody. That's all there is to it.
We just have to amend the budget to do that. That's the issue, amending the budget.
But like you said a while ago, training somebody a little bit can help a whole lot, like striping the fields, whatever, you know. Any kind of help is greatly appreciated.
Right,
I mean, it sounds like you got some volunteers.
right. All right, this year would have
So-
to be solely volunteers until we do our budget meetings. This year would have to be solely volunteers.
No, well, you can amend the budget. I mean, you could hire somebody and get the budget amended.
I talked to
So,
Sabrina about that, and she says it usually takes 2 months for that process.
Didn't you say something about we
that-
could go into it?
that would be right in the middle of your
We could do
season.
special call meetings, once
Yeah.
she got everything prepared. Because you do have to have 2 readings, and that time frame would cover just doing it at normal meetings, and her time to prep it and get it into
are
the
you that
paper.
close on your budget that we have to amend it? What we pay part-time kid come in, $10? If we hired a 16-year-old, what we pay him?
That's going to be a Tammy question. Like my co-op student that comes in, I do pay $10 an hour.
What do
but
you
I
pay
don't
your
know what she
bookkeepers and
pays her.
concession stand people?
At the ballparks, they get paid $8 an hour, or $7.50, they start out at $7.50. And then they go up. And then, the field maintenance, like that work with Jody that are on the lawnmowers, they start out at $9.
Because we're really talking about 32 hours.
That's what I was trying to
At
figure.
$10 an hour is easy math,
Easy,
$30.
yes.
Right. So when I worked for softball park, I worked for softball park my entire high school career, and I don't know if Tyler said he learned with baseball, I'm not sure. We did everything. We did the concession stands, we did scorekeeping, we did umpiring, and we did the fields. Is that not something we could say, hey, guys, if you're gonna work down here, you're doing it all?
Yeah, if you change the rule or the job description, yeah. I mean, yeah, we did too, April. I mean, that was the same way we were, and,
Right.
you know.
Jody, you have access to a lot of very knowledgeable young men who know a lot about baseball and fields. I know at least one of them who's going to be umpiring this summer, or has put in an application. I'm sure that young man would go above and beyond anything that you asked him to do as far as field work goes.
You're right, and you had made a comment, something about we need to mold these young kids while ago, 16-year-old kids, but got me thinking, I had two of my baseball players work for me this past summer, okay? Part-time workers. They worked with me in David during the daytime, but, so can a 16-year-old kid, can he work by himself on Friday night?
An 18-year-old could, because you should have some who are graduating also, who will probably be going to college in August.
They have in the past. I mean, when they used to get out
Gary's
when they
there.
used to get out of school in the afternoons, they'd go straight down there and start mowing. So, but things have changed.
And to your point, Gary will be there. There will be other supervision there.
Yeah, as long as Gary's there, or like I said, some supervision, even a board member, I think if you go back and look at your regs or whatever you're going by, as long as one of them's there, you can have kids or 16-year-olds or minors, I guess you'd say.
Can there be guidelines set up too? Like, I've always been around pre-maintenance systems and everything like that. Can there not be guidelines that's like, okay, if you're mowing the field, you have to go do this. It goes this way.
I think it's Jody's, that'd be Jody's job.
You know what I mean?
I mean, he would set them guidelines.
We're doing it by, just like how you would do it, or whoever, so that it's not messed up. Because none of us want to, the fields, even on the weekends, that Friday night, even in, for the weekend ball games, we still want it to look the best it can.
Sure.
Because that's bringing in revenue and tourism and everything to bring all that back. So, I mean, my son played travel ball down there, and they loved it. Everybody, you get compliments about how that field is set up, and it all goes back to how Jody, the city, all those workers are doing that. So, I mean, we're not against the weekend stuff, we just want that one night. And I understand it's more work, it's more, but and I'm not saying it happens like that. So you set up parameters of how to do it. And if it doesn't get done that way, then there's repercussions on whoever's job it was, just like in anything.
I'm a teacher. We are all about setting high expectations, and if you set those expectations, those kids are going to try to reach them. They may struggle at first, but they do want to try to reach those expectations.
And you try to, the way we put it, you dummy proof it. If there's any way you can dummy proof it, set up, instead of a string like we used to do, you set up a laser level and you follow that laser. You put that arrow on that marker and you go straight down it, or, whatever. That's.
Oh, I think if Jody gets to hire a minor or whatever, he's going to give him the guidance to make it right, okay? Because
But then, it's the same.
it wouldn't be no different than hiring an extra employee at the aquatic center, would it? I mean, how many employees you hire at the aquatic center? Do you ever get the number that you need?
Never. I usually get.
So if you're budgeted there, you can't,
And then they'll decide that it's too hard, they don't like it, and they quit.
right,
So,
which opens up a spot for Jody, I guess.
It's two different
work at
budgets.
the aquatic center?
No, to work for him, and take.
No, that's two different budgets.
Two different.
Yeah,
You're crossing funds.
Well, you could always, they quit and start a new job, start the process over again,
yes.
if they want to do that. But are you having trouble getting people at $7.50 with all the signs at Hardee's and every place, starting out at $12?
That's
And
why I gotta approach with my budget. I mean, I have baseball and softball, I I mean, I have 14 right now, and I have 4 more applications for workers. The athletic center gets paid more, and that's where I'm having the hardest time is getting employees, because it's 7 days a week.
So Lori, what's the difference, other than the final say-so? If a kid comes and wants to work for the city on a summer program, he don't have to specify where he wants to work. I mean, you can take, if he wants to work for the city on a summer job, I mean, we use him anywhere we can, right?
We need to know
I mean,
what.
if Tammy gets applications that says aquatic center, ball field, or girls field.
Right,
and
and that's
she
where,
gets to
and she
pick.
gets those, and she chooses where they go.
Yeah, if they put aquatic, then they get keyed for aquatic. If they go baseball, they get keyed for baseball, and so forth. And then if they're working for Jody, it's another key code for that.
And what is working for Jody? I know that I asked you the last time what your job title was.
So they're in charge of helping him prepare the mowing, preparing the fields, and usually most of them usually work, what, 20 hours a week? 25 hours a week. And then Jody also has been, he takes care of the WIT firefighters and emptying trash and cleaning the bathrooms. And last year he mowed firefighters all summer long.
So how many hours you getting there a week? 40? You're not over 40 until the league starts?
Gina, you got anything?
No, I'm just trying to process it. So to me, if you're mowing firefighters and all that, picking up the trash, could somebody not do that and take that time and then you apply it to the Friday night? I know that makes a long day for you, but if you're cutting it, you still get your time, but then somebody else could do that, and I don't think it's as detail-oriented as that is. That's what I don't understand, and you're talking about hiring these school kids, but in their insurance regulations to where they have to be a certain age before they can operate the equipment. But then we've talked about some volunteers that are of age that could do that. And then I think Jody needs to create a key processes going forward, and I know that will change as time goes on as to how this needs to be done step by step, because things will change, and if something happened, you may not even know, Tammy, everything and how it's done. He needs to have that in a key processes form so that somebody could pick that up and know exactly how to do it, how it's supposed to be done. But I firmly believe there's a solution to this, and I do think the majority of everybody there and up here wants them to play it on Friday.
They said that like the volunteers were not insured.
Okay.
We're not under the insurance, so we couldn't run.
Couldn't operate the equipment.
The equipment.
Okay.
So there had to be, whoever ran their equipment had to be.
An employee.
I think Lauren, if I didn't misunderstand Lauren a while ago, our insurance policy does cover volunteers to run the equipment. I think we did find out a couple years ago, in order to run a lawnmower, you have to be 18 years old.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense to me, because you can drive a car at 16, but, that was, I think there's just stipulations there that I think they're gonna be covered. We just have to make sure they meet the age recommendation.
And as long as probably as somebody is there to
Yeah, you
supervise,
would
if that's the
definitely
word
need
you
somebody
wanna
there
say.
supervising somebody
Right.
running a piece of equipment, just
But
in
to
case
me,
something
I
was to
mean, that's-
happen.
You have to understand the process of the equipment, because it's a $40,000 piece of equipment.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying again with the key processes. That needs to be in writing somewhere for every job as far as I'm concerned, because you don't ever want just one person to know how to do something. No offense, Jody.
And that's unfortunate, because they're just a small department.
I know,
Yeah,
I mean,
and like Wes has got a small, his department's kind of small right now too. So you take what you can and you do what you can. with
exactly,
what
and
you got.
and like I said, it's nobody, it's not pitting anybody against anybody. Everybody wants the same thing, and there is a solution.
That's why I'm looking forward to it.
We just gotta figure it out. So if we got volunteers, we got people working, it's there. Just gotta, as Jody said, it's all gonna work out.
Okay.
And if the board needs to say, okay, I'm gonna designate myself for this Friday night, you as a board member designate yourself the next Friday night, I'm sure we can do that. We're volunteers, I'm sure we can do that.
And that's what I thought, and it's,
I think it's a miscommunications.
I think, and it's.
I think now that it's come to light and come to the table, that you can work it out, guys.
I'm going to make this super quick, but I do have one more question because I feel like we've kind of been going in circles. Why are we only focused on work for Friday nights? I mean, how is a Friday night any different than Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday? I mean, why are we only focused on games on Friday nights and getting fields ready? Aren't you going to get those ready during the day?
But he's got to get them ready for
The
Saturday.
tournaments on the
Ready for
weekend.
Next day.
Yeah, he's got
So we are talking about not having games for our local kids on Friday nights in order to prepare fields for travel teams who may or may not include our local kids for the weekends. Is that right?
That's right.
Okay.
How many games is played through the summer on travel teams?
Just about every weekend. We had our first tournament this past weekend.
You had a tournament this past weekend?
Yeah, the past 2 summers, we'll say probably 20, about 20 tournaments or so, past 2 summers, each summer.
With the average of how many teams? 20?
It varies.
15 to 20?
The most we've had is, the most we've had is 46, I think.
Okay, let me ask this. We charge whoever is organizing this travel team tournament, we charge them $250, is that correct? $150
Per field.
per field. And then what about gate admission? Who get?
They get the gate.
And then who is paying umpires concessions?
We have our concessions, we run our own concessions.
So we get concessions and $150
Per field.
per field, but how many fields do we have?
4, 7, each got 7?
So we have 7 fields.
Are they playing at nighttime
Usually
too?
play 6, they usually play till what, Jody, 7? So last game?
It varies depending on the size of the tournament.
Yeah.
And these people bring a minimum of, let's say 2 people per person, minimum 10 per team on a team. And you say that sometimes we have 40 teams in a tournament? Well, they're making bank and we're coming out in the hole. And our kids are getting,
The city
Well-
makes a lot of money off of
the city is,
Right.
that, not as far as tourism.
Tourism. They're eating
Tourism.
restaurants, they're free,
Right.
yes.
That's what we want to make sure that we are not against travel law.
Right, I get it.
At all, because we've all been there, and they do bring a lot of, they're.
Yes, love it. Yes.
That's fabulous.
They're spending some money.
But we can't forget about our kids here. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thanks, Terry. Anybody else?
No, I just know when, of course, as Denny said, I played in the 20s, when we,
Early 20s.
early 20s. Our coaches and umpires drug the field between each game. And then if there was any dirt or anything needed to move around the umpires, we raked it, we took care of it. That's the way we did it. The coaches and some of the assistant coaches, even, they got out there, but the umpires, we raked the field, the coaches drug the field and set it up. And they didn't pay, we didn't charge them anything to do it.
I played in those days too, it was only, I played for Gary, but a lot of things have changed.
Oh, yeah. Hard to even get coaches now,
Get coaches, hard to,
let alone assistants.
and a lot of times those guys are coming in, straight off work, straight in their work boots, they put in a lot of hours that day and they're volunteering their time, and I know you all did too, but it's changed, it's a whole different.
Well, it's a different, just,
ballgame.
it's a little bit different than just tying a
You're a
drag
youngster.
behind your
You're a
mower and making a
youngster.
few passes, so.
Yeah, but, and the ones younger than ballgame with them too. It's-
And the work ethic is different
Well,
now with a lot.
it is, but there are still some out there that are the good ones, and.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll, anyway, it has changed. It's,
And there are always gonna be good ones, it's just
Yeah.
getting smaller
It's
to
the
choose from, you know, I mean, it's,
Okay, guys, well, let's stay in touch with Tammy and with us, and let us, we'll obviously be trying to work through it. Council's kind of made their wishes known, so we'll sit down with Tammy and Jody, and we'll try to work through things and see what we can come up with. But do stay in touch. I know you said you're having sign-ups Thursday, is that right, Tammy?
Yes, from 5 to 7, second floor softball complex.
Okay.
And they're still accepting registrations here during regular business hours until the 17th.
Okay.
you all have a committee, that side of the table right there, that you can come to anytime. They're designated on the Parks and Recs committee, so them three can usually come to us or whatever with y'all's wishes or whatever, just try and do the chain of command. If you have trouble there, then you can schedule a meeting with them, and that's just part of our job, to take your complaints and take your solutions and see what we can change with them, so.
And my door is always open, so.
And if
If you
you're
don't have
real
their
upset,
contact-
always ask for Denny.
If you
Yes,
don't have any of their contact information, I think they all have their new business cards now that's got, if not, they're sitting in there on the counter.
Okay, ma'am, I don't
That way
have
they
them.
you can have their email, their phone numbers and how to get in touch with
And we do
them.
try to be respectful of Tammy. She's Parks and Rec Director, so we want her included on anything we may have issues with her.
I appreciate that. Everybody's been good tonight, just a lot of discussion to be had, so it's good that we can discuss things and calmly and peacefully, so. All right, anybody else? Any of you guys?
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you all for coming, and like I say, stay in touch with us. We'll try to get things worked out, so do stay in touch.
when's your first game, you know yet?
No.
I mean, is it going, April, end April, that's when it usually.
May 3rd is what the schedule had, the ones I received from, that we had.
I know the girls always tried to start last week of April,
The
so.
schedule I have, the first game is May 3rd. That's the schedule, that's just the schedule I have. I don't know if it was some started in April, I just didn't get that schedule.
10 weeks.
It's always the first week of testing.
Okay, do we have any other visitors that would like to address the council? Nancy, Travis, you guys? David? Have we got someone else out that wants to address the council?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Everything's okay.
Okay, good deal. All right. I never did see it on the agenda.
Is,
Excuse me.
is that
Jody?
on the agenda with Nancy?
Before you leave.
It's down under unfinished business.
Okay.
Okay. I see
Mayor,
it
I'm
now.
I'm sorry. Jody said, looked like he's getting ready to leave. Jody, thanks for keeping the park over there so nice during this windstorm.
Yeah.
We were y'all over there Saturday, I know, cutting up trees that were crossing trail, and we have our own little group that walks all the time, and they really appreciate you guys and Keith doing that. So I just wanted to tell you thanks.
Yeah.
So we had our whole department was out there cutting trees on Saturday.
We appreciate that, and I'm sure the public that the park gets a lot more use than you think it does, so I'm sure they're very appreciative of that, too. Okay, if there's no other visitors that want to speak, we'll go on down to the second and final reading of the amended ordinance for Board of Adjustments. Arlene, do you have that?
Yes, whereas on July 19th, 1999, City of Leitchfield enacted an ordinance providing for the creation of a Board of Adjustments, which said ordinance provided for qualifications for those members serving on the board, and whereas in order for the ordinance to reflect current Kentucky revised statutes related to said board, and whereas to set additional qualification of board members serving on the Board of Adjustments, now therefore be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky, that ordinance 99 passed passed on 7/19/99 is hereby amended as follows, with deleted portions being indicated by a line drawn through them and encompassed by brackets enclosing them, with added portions being underlined. There shall be 5 citizen members approved by the city council, appointed by the mayor for 4-year terms ending on the first month of the designated year. The terms shall be staggered so that the terms of no more than 2 members expire in any year. Vacancies on the board shall be filled within 60 days. If the vacancy is not filled at the time, the commission shall fill the vacancy. When a vacancy occurs other than through expiration of the term of that office, it shall be filled for the remainder of that term. Board of Adjustments members must meet a minimum of one of the following: reside within the corporate limits of the city, own or operate a business for profit within the corporate limits of the city, and shall reside within Grayson County, Kentucky, or own real estate within the corporate limits of the city and shall reside within Grayson County, Kentucky. At least 2/3 of the members of the Board of Adjustments shall reside within the corporate limits of the city. Officers of the Board of Adjustments shall consist of a chairman, vice chairman, and secretary treasurer, only one of which can be a non-city of Leitchfield resident. And this is the second, so we will need to vote, an individual vote. We need a first and
Individual roll
second.
call. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the individual vote. We'll start with Denny over
We need a
here.
first and second
Yeah, we'll
first.
need a motion.
So
and a
move with
second.
the motion.
Motion
I'll
by
second.
Billy, second by Clayton. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Individual?
Denny votes aye.
Yo,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Second and final reading of ordinance for zoning request RA-23-113.
All right, an ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky is hereinafter described from R-1 Single Family Low Density to C-1 Highway Commercial. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on February 13th, 2023 held a public hearing on application number RZ-23-113. The property is currently owned by Denton Cooper and is designated as property having a PVA number 083-08-05-055 and 083-09-27-011, being more particular described in Deed Book 433, page 467, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 407 and 409 Mill Street, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from R-1 Single Family Low Density to C-1 Highway Commercial. And whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference, and now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky. Being same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part thereof, is fully set out at herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 2/13/2023 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description, refer to property description PVA number 083-08-05-055 and 083-09-27-011, Deed Book 433, page 467, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 407 and 409 Mill Street, Litchfield, Kentucky 42754, now Zone C-1 Highway Commercial after the adoption of this ordinance. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect following publication as required by law. This ordinance or parts or ordinance in conflict herewith are repealed to the extent of such conflict, given a second reading and duly enacted by the legislative body of the City of Litchfield, Kentucky on the 6th day of March after first being read on the 20th day of February 2023.
Okay, so I'll take a motion to approve. Motion by Clayton, a second.
Second.
Tootie, all in favor?
We'll need a roll call on it as well.
Denny?
Aye.
yo,
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys. Okay, we have the first reading of amended garbage rate ordinance.
I do not have the garbage rate ordinance complete at this time. It's a pretty detailed ordinance, and I do plan to have that at the next meeting. There were several factors to put in there, and I just want to make sure it was all completed before I presented it to the council.
Okay. We'll table that for the time being and take it up at the next meeting. Okay. Resolution for the program to tear down commercial buildings.
These will just take a vote. There's two resolutions, and we had voted on these the last time, and I finalized them with resolutions. One is for the commercial properties, and the other is for the renovation.
Okay.
And if there's anything the council doesn't like, I can always redraft and represent. Yes, and we'll need separate motions, one for the commercial and one for the renovation.
Okay. Do we need to do roll call on these also?
No, it'll just
Okay.
be a vote.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to
So moved.
accept Billy.
Second.
Second by Gina. All in favor?
Aye.
And for the second one, I'll accept a motion to
I'll make that motion.
Gina, second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed. Thank you. Approval of the January 2023 financial statement. I think we've gotten copies of these earlier, so you had time to look through them, see if you have any questions or any concerns about the financial statement. If no one has any questions, I'll entertain a motion to accept that as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Billy. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, unfinished business, RZ-23-114 at 1000 Cave Mill Road.
I've spoken to Tyler, and we do have to give a 14-day notice before the hearing. If you go back in the minutes, we did vote to have a fact-finding hearing, so we just need to set on a date on that. I talked to Tyler, and we proposed the first meeting in April, which would be April 3rd.
Okay.
I know that is the spring break meeting, so I know some people are out of town, so just wanted to make sure that date works for everybody.
So you won't have a conflict with that date?
Is that on the Monday?
It's a Monday, yeah, it's
That's
our
good.
regular Monday meeting time, so. Okay. So we will take this back up at that meeting then?
Yes.
Should have all the paperwork through by then, okay. You guys got any, Nancy, you guys have any questions or anything? No. All right, thank you.
I do have a quick question. Can you explain exactly what a fact-finding hearing is?
It's basically like a hearing or a trial. It's just any evidence that Ms. Hack has would be presented at that time.
And who presents that?
Ms. Hack would present that on her behalf. And then any questions that you have will need to be asked that night. So,
And she presents that to us?
Yes.
Will planning and zoning, will any of those members be here to?
No,
No?
it's not required by the KR statute that they have to come and put on like their side.
Right.
But I believe Tyler will be here to answer any questions he has that. I'm also going to have the KRSs printed to you and given to you if you want to glance at those.
Can you do that prior to?
Yes, I'll email those out to everybody, so that may help you if you want to formulate some questions.
Because her case has to be substantiated, one of those, right? I mean, we can't just, it has to, am I understanding that right? What she presents to us has to fall under one of those.
One of the exceptions.
Yes.
It either has to fall within the comprehensive plan or it has to fall in one of those two exceptions.
Okay. That's.
I didn't understand you. Could you repeat that, please?
It has to fall within the comprehensive plan, and if it doesn't, then it has to fall in one of those two exceptions.
And do you?
Could I have a copy of that, please, at some point on the 3rd of April?
What I'll do is I'll make a little,
I have nothing.
I'll make a packet of the KRSs to give council, and whatever I have, I can give to Tyler. So,
Okay. I'll check in, what, a week and see if I can pick that up somewhere here.
if that would work with Tyler.
I can get it by the end of the week.
Okay.
I'm out of town. I'm leaving tonight for training, so
Oh, okay, I didn't.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I'll leave it up front.
But
The
if you don't get it
comprehensive
before
plan's
Wednesday night,
online.
I can get it Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah, and so is the requirements.
Yeah, they're all
It's-
online.
It's online.
Yeah, and, yeah, and all the KRSs are on.
Comprehensive plan several times,
Well-
but you were saying the two exceptions.
Yes, that's under KRS 100.211, I believe.
Those are the exceptions, they're on there.
And you get, all the statutes are online.
You can look, I think it's maybe KRS 100.213.
Hold on, she's digging.
I just had it pulled up.
KRS 211.
Hold on.
100.
Two-
KRS 100.213.
It's 213. Yes, it's, and that's the findings necessary for a proposed map amendment, so.
Okay, the KRS again, please.
KRS 100.213. And if you just go to Google and type in KRS with that number, it'll pop up.
Thank you.
And it's also in the online, it'll be under section 153.458 online for the Leitchfield ordinance, which all that is just a mirror of the KRS. So if you have one, you've got the other.
If I have questions, I'll just come to City Hall and talk with you next week. Because I want to make sure that I have what I need to satisfy the council to answer questions. And I mean, I don't want to just shoot blindly and not know what it is that you all are requiring, and then come April 3rd, it not be what you need.
Yeah.
I just want to try to be as helpful as I can.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys. All right, any other unfinished business? Anyone have any other unfinished business?
Oh, wait, hold on, I have some notes. I don't know what is, so is unfinished business considered something that we've already talked about and, okay, so, like the live streaming of all the committee meetings, has anything come about with that? Are we doing that yet? Have they been notified? Are they?
I think everybody is on board, with the exception of the Utilities Commission. We had a meeting last Thursday, and they voted to not participate in that process.
Not to participate in the transparency process? Okay, so the other committees and commissions?
Everybody else has agreed, haven't they, Lori? Am I understanding that?
I think so. I know tourism was a little
Yeah, they
iffy,
have
So
to begin with.
when is that going to start?
I'm not sure. Probably, I'm trying to think when, planning and zoning meets next week, right?
Next week, right?
That's our next meeting, but I don't know if we're prepared to do that.
Right.
But, I mean, we're on board with doing it. We just got to learn the technical
Yeah,
stuff.
I think
and all that to get
part of where we're at
You all
now
just
is.
tell me when you're ready, and the same thing with tourism, because I think Elsa's listening. You all just tell me when you're ready, and I'll show everybody how to, and I don't even care to come to the meetings to help out the first few times. And
We'll shoot for the April meeting.
Okay. It's an April meeting then, and we'll touch base with the other commissions that aren't doing that. And
I'll just inform
ask
the
them to
commission.
be ready by their April meeting, so.
I'll inform the commission next week at our formal meeting, and then we'll be prepared for the following meeting.
Okay.
And I don't think tourism was against it when I said they were a little iffy. They're used to having their meetings in the
Right.
meeting room over here. They're not used to using this platform, so
Yeah.
they just needed to prepare themselves to be up there, so.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have an issue.
No.
Why does the utilities don't want to?
I don't know that I can totally answer that. I think they were looking at some transparency issue with, maybe they mentioned someone coming in to discuss a bill or something like that, that maybe didn't want to be on live broadcast.
But couldn't they discuss that bill when it was over?
Well, the idea is to you know, if we're gonna broadcast the meetings, record them, to take care of business while you're doing that. Now, I guess they could go in closed session.
Yeah,
to
I mean, they
address something
could do
like
it
that.
after the meeting, Clayton, because that requires, you know, if somebody's coming in, say you got an industry that had a huge leak or something, you know, talking about their bill, they all have to agree on, you know, what they're gonna do there, so, but they could do a closed session like we do, you know, just put it on pause and take the camera, to, you know, to where it doesn't have anybody on it, just.
And if the council sees it as a worthwhile endeavor to get them to reconsider, I think if you make that known, I mean, obviously, we've had it on the agenda that the council had asked that they do that.
In fact, didn't we have a resolution? I think we
Yes.
submitted
Requesting
a
that, yes.
resolution to request them to do it.
Yeah.
So,
So we did have a resolution to request it,
Requested.
and then what happened with that resolution?
I took it to, well, it was on the agenda last Thursday, and they decided that they'd rather not participate at this time. So I think if, from my point of thinking, I think if you guys maybe touch base with some of the Utilities Commission, explain to them. I tried to explain to them it wasn't punitive, it wasn't anything like that. We'd asked everyone to do it, so, and they said they realized that. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now.
This is you're on the commission?
Yes,
You're a member?
Yeah, yeah. I am on that commission.
And they do have a meeting next Thursday at 5 is their next meeting.
Well, it might be something, like I say, between now and then, if you have contact with somebody on that commission, you know, make mention to them that they serve at the
I'm like
behest of this
Terry.
group.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I would like to know the reason other than the bill. I mean, if there's a legitimate reason, maybe but I mean, if you got a bill, I would think you could discuss that by coming in here and setting up a meeting, individual meeting with whoever needs to discuss it, but I don't know. But I would like to kind of maybe just have a reason for it.
Pudgy, come here a minute.
I don't think he will remember talking about that call. I may be
Oh,
wrong.
okay. Do you remember you all talking about at your last meeting, videoing the meetings? And why didn't they want to?
I didn't want to. I guess, you know, it'd be, I don't know, open a can of worms that you didn't want at the time or what, you know. Give you all time to work it out and what you've done, what they haven't done in the past, you know, whether it be right or wrong, you know, just because you've done something.
He needs to be at the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lindsay and
Go over to the mic where everybody can hear you. Right there to the mic. Now tell us that again.
yeah, that's what we said, whether it's the right,
It's recording,
It's
Pudgy.
on.
It doesn't
It's
sound like it
recording.
is, but it is.
It is. Go ahead.
what I gotta do here.
Nothing, no,
Nothing,
just
nothing.
just
It's-
talk into it. You're
Just
you're
talk
fine.
into it. It's on.
People on the
Okay?
internet can hear it.
It's okay?
You can hear yourself, yeah.
Here,
I, you know, it's just like whatever you've done for years, don't make it right, you know, but it's just it's always, that's the way everything's always been. But whether it's legal or whether it's right, it's just, well, we've always done this and we've always done that. And like we talking about giving water away and that's utilities, you know, and I don't know, you know, what's happened in the past, but it's been abused quite often. And I don't think we're in a position to give utilities away.
Right.
But whatever has been done in the past, you know, it's in the past. But if you want to continue that way, it's strictly to you all, but
Thank you, Budgie.
I know back the old time of Talbert Lindsay and Elmer Paragon and yeah, your dad too. He just got after me.
We appreciate that, Buddy.
Yeah.
We just wanted to hear from you.
Right, that's it.
Thank
All
you.
right, thanks,
Thank you.
Budgie.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Any more unfinished business from anyone? Okay, let's move on to new business. Anyone have any new business? Billy?
No, sir.
Terry?
I did have a couple of people to reach out asking, even though we are doing, we're videoing and it's live on YouTube, what were the chances of doing the Facebook Live again, simply because we had so many more viewers interacting with us compared to the amount of views that we currently have. And there is a really easy fix, so I hear, to save a Facebook Live video and then upload it to YouTube. That way we would be reaching two demographics of people.
I think one of the things we recently discussed, Lori, I'm not remembering exactly when, but I remember talking about it the last few days. With Facebook video, there is the option for people to interact with you as the video's moving, which we did during COVID when we were actually not meeting together, with the public. From what I understand, that's one of the biggest issues is trying to keep up with.
It really
having
is.
someone to
I
keep
know
up
there
with those
was some
comments and-
times I missed some comments and, then that upsets people. They think you're skipping over them, when you're not intentionally doing that. When you have, a heated discussion that's bringing up 30 or 40 questions, it's hard for me to sit here and take minutes and get what you all are saying and try and read Facebook and make sure I get all those questions in.
So the way that we're set up now on YouTube, are people able to?
No, it's simply viewing on
Okay,
YouTube.
could we not do that with the Facebook Live? Can you turn off comments? I'm not a big Facebook Liver,
If we toggle
so,
those off or not,
I don't know if you
never
can
have
toggle those
clue
off.
with it.
because if you look back at the amount of views that we've had, sometimes 700 plus, and now we might have 100 total.
I don't think we had 700 watching at one time. I think the views is
Oh, no
of them going
views.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can check into that and
And
see.
I'm up, I'm open to however you all want to do it. You all just
But
tell
I
me
agree
and-
with, you can't be expected, nobody in here can be expected to keep up with comments, questions, whatever, that just, you couldn't do that, and we shouldn't.
So we'll reach out maybe and see if there's a way to
Toggle
toggle
back.
the questions off or something like that. Just have to read the instructions, won't we, Lori?
That's right. We'll dig a little deeper.
Yeah.
I do have one more thing.
All right.
And it's kind of old, but we just chatted about it for a second. And it was about whenever we had openings on different committees and commissions that we had, and we talked about, getting the most qualified applicants or most qualified people in those positions. And I have looked around at several city governments throughout our state, and not only our state, but in the United States. And there are a lot of city governments who, they're making their public more aware of the committees and commissions, and they list their boards and commissions on their city government website, stating anyone who is interested or would like more information to contact the city clerk, or can submit an online contact form that included the city commissions and boards in a drop-down box. A lot of them encourages anyone who is a resident to consider submitting a resume for appointment, and appointments are made upon recommendation by the mayor and with the approval of the board or commission. So, it wouldn't be, you would still be making the recommendation, however, I feel like we would get a larger pool of people who we may not even know are qualified, interested and qualified. So I would really like for us to think about putting that out there and letting everyone know what our commissions, what our boards are, what they entitle, the descriptions of them, and see if we can't get more people engaged and applying.
One of the things we've talked about, and we'll start with our budget process here in a few weeks probably, won't we, Lori? Is getting a social media director. Someone that can keep all of our goings-on pushed out there all the time. So maybe that's one of the things, if we can get the right person, we can push that. I know there'll probably be space on our website.
Yeah, I know we had talked about on our website, when we get the new one up and running, to maybe start listing the term dates. Of course, all the boards are already on our current website, but they don't have term dates. And I knew we had talked about adding those term dates. That would at least give somebody an idea if they were looking at it when those terms were up.
Do we have a date yet for whenever this website?
I can reach out to them again and see.
Because it's been, I mean, they've been designing for
while.
quite some time now, right?
Yeah, it's, the last time I talked to the gentleman, it's probably been a month and a half or so. He talked like they were getting close, but I don't know what close is to a computer technician versus, you know.
But we have a lot of things that are getting ready to start happening out in our community that also need to be out there. I mean, the Fiddling Festival, East Main Market.
Yeah, and we can get those put on our current sorry, not Facebook, but our current website. Elsa knows how to run the current one.
That website is just so challenging to navigate. The one that we have right now, no, it's unorganized.
I don't think it's challenging to navigate.
Coming from an outsider in, there are a lot of things that you have to click in order to find one thing that you're looking for.
And I don't know that the new one is, I mean, there's still, you know, what they've sent me, there's still several clicks to make to get to where you need to go.
But hopefully it's more tab-oriented and more category and department-wise. I hope it is. Okay.
I feel like ours now is, because, I mean, it's got each department listed across the top, and you click on those. I do agree, there are several clicks to get to some stuff.
It's not user-friendly, but anyway, hopefully the new one will be better. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thanks. Billy?
Hey, Wesley?
Yes, sir.
The square, I think, has a bunch of leaves in the corners of the draining and garbage. Could you work on that to get the square cleaned up a little bit around them?
You can do it.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Dude?
No, sir.
Clay?
Yeah, I guess this fall under Wesley. I've had a lot of citizens out in Quail Run, several Quail Run off of Sunbeam Road. When you enter there, there's that sign there, and it's tearing up, it's messed up. They've gone out there. The citizens, they've tried to wash it off, clean it off. They say that belongs to the city. Is that not right?
I don't know, I don't
That
think
sign,
so.
the big sign?
The big sign, I mean, if it's a street sign,
Now,
yeah,
if we
but
take over that median there, I still don't think we,
I don't think the sign's
think
ours.
that's Take it
No.
Yeah, the street signs would be ours, but the big sign that
Not
says
big
Quail Run
Yeah,
subdivision.
the Quail Run sign that you pull in.
No,
I would
it's
not think that would be the
it's not ours.
city's.
That was the subdivision put that in.
Well, that's what I told them, but, you know, they ask and they shall receive when they ask me. So thank you.
No.
Anything else, Clay? Okay. Gina?
I would just like to see maybe future discussion. Storm shelters, I know Kevin Henderson opened up some areas, but I'd like to know as city what we can offer and what we can do. I know working with him, but I do think our county as a whole is lacking in that department. So
I would
just
agree
wanted to
somewhat,
mention it.
yeah. I think we can,
Future.
I'm not sure what buildings we would have that would be classified as a storm shelter.
Right, but I think, you know, overall, the county, I don't feel like we are adequate on it. But city, I'd like to know what buildings and what we can do to offer people.
Okay.
With the-
discussion on that.
With the, Wesley, with the maintenance shop down there, I mean, would your all's building?
No.
We do in here, but, I'm not sure how insurance purposes work if you opened it up to the public, so that would be a question
That's
for
why I
our
said
insurance.
future
But,
discussion.
our kitchen area on the city hall side and, what was the sergeant's room there on the PD side, which encompasses that one room, the kitchen, and 2 restrooms, is our storm shelter here. It has different doors. I think there's 3 foot of concrete below you, above you, and around you. So,
That's the only true storm shelter that we have.
Right.
We've always used.
and it won't, I
we've always
mean,
been in conjunction
I think
with
max
the
capacity in there might be
for the
50 people.
courthouse, and, I mean, ever since I was little, that's what we did.
But I know he
But,
started locking the courthouse on the square.
Yeah, but somebody will unlock it.
They
if it's-
unlock it when it's
If for storm.
And that's the only thing
Several people have
here.
keys.
But I-
Several
The
people-
building would have to be unlocked for them to get into that.
Just like I said, future discussion. because
But
I
we
think
can, I can definitely check with our insurance and see how that would, what aspects that would be
It's not
as
gonna
far as the
hold very
insurance.
many people, though.
No, I don't think, I think max might be 50. I think there's a sign back there saying what the capacity could be for that.
It'd be tight with 50.
Yeah, I think it would be very tight.
Okay. Jim, anything else? Dan?
Well, Mayor, I've got quite a few.
Well,
First
This is
thing,
the time.
we can do it. Tyler kind of talked to me about this, having a floodplain manager, and if we don't have one, it's you.
Yeah.
So that would maybe something we need to look at to see if we could, not that you're not qualified on floodplains,
I can tell you I'm not.
but maybe we could look at it.
I believe you can handle it though, Harold.
Yeah, well,
Well, often we have it.
I will tell you how I'll handle it.
Go to high ground.
Yeah, I'm up on that bank up there, but, I have gotten an email, from the Corps of Engineers, and they are looking at some of our flood issues around here. So, now that's not necessarily a floodplain,
But it's,
guy, but hopefully it's gonna solve some of our water issues. While I was campaigning, I got a lot of interest in the way the water is running, especially in North Leitchfield, so, hopefully some of those things we can get working toward. The Corps of Engineers, the last email I got said they were real close to having a plan, so, as far as the floodplain issues, I thought what Denny was gonna do is say Tyler will do it, but I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna talk to him about it before I tell everybody he'll do it.
well, he would seem to be a logical choice.
Well, I'm not gonna go there
But
right
is-
now. I'm gonna,
Did Jan go up there?
I didn't see him volunteering, so we'll.
Mayor, could we meet with these people, with the Corps? I mean,
Sure
is
we
that be
could.
possible?
Yeah, I've got
That
a-
we could
I've
get
got a
an idea
contact
of where
number
they're,
with-
what they can,
Yeah.
what they're looking at.
I can
because
contact her tomorrow and see what their time frame is.
I'm like you, a lot of people have
Yeah.
complaints that are getting flooding now that they never had before.
Yeah, so, yeah, we've been out and looked at some of those. I think there's some solutions to those, but we want to make sure they're the right solution so we can get them taken care of. Anything else, Dan?
I'd have a couple more. One is on this is, I think would be a simple situation. It's probably never come up, but I was looking at the planning and zoning ordinances, and we have one ordinance that's not in compliance with KRS. It's related to the penalties for violation, and I'm sure we've probably never had anybody actually got a citation for it. But it would be something we probably need to change. Our ordinance provides for the minimum fine of $50. KRS is $100. So it'd be a simple fix with that, and I'll maybe bring that up at the next meeting more so, but just give everybody an idea. I don't see it being that big a deal. The other things I've got is probably something should have been related under old business. Did you hear anything about the police cams, if that's going to impact our insurance?
No. I've got to talk to Lauren here probably tomorrow again on some other issues and getting our renewal submitted, just so that they have the renewal submitted, and I'll ask her in the morning when I
Okay.
talk to
All
her.
right. Thanks. And lastly, I think we probably need to look at our personnel policy and pay scale before the
Definitely.
people do the budget. I mean, and we need to get that done now. If that's,
I agree 100%.
if Lori wants to I can look at it with you if you
Yeah.
want some help. I don't
You all
mind.
just tell me when you all want to meet.
Well, you tell us when you're
Yeah,
I'll fit you in anytime.
Well, I have no electricity, so I'm free to do a lot.
Denny's won't know if
He's
he's
trying to
tonight
find some stuff to do,
and
huh?
Go over tonight. Let us know, Lori,
Okay.
a couple of dates and times, and we'll pick from them.
Okay, I'll do that, and I'll just shoot everybody an
We'll
email.
get a start on it. We've already got a pretty good start. Lori's been working on some of that, so.
Great.
We've got some things moving in that direction, so.
That's all. Thanks, Mayor.
Okay. Any new business, Lori?
I don't think I have anything.
Erlene?
I don't have anything.
Wesley?
Just that we started delivering some of the garbage cans last week. We get just a few so far, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll be getting the majority of them out, so.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be good once we get everything going, and, just gotta get some trucks fixed that can handle it.
Okay.
Wesley, I did have somebody stop me and ask me a question. He wanted to know, he bags his leaves up.
Uh-huh.
What do we got, what's the solution? I told him to call our
Yeah, if he just
people.
called the Public Works Department, usually we pick the leaves up separate because we put them in the
That's what I
back with our compost.
Yeah.
And,
And if they're bagged up, is that,
yeah, they can just set it out to the side, but he needs to call, let us know that he's got leaves out or something
Okay.
like that, so.
thank you.
We have a lot of people that do bag them like that.
Okay.
And we still do have our option to where they can text. It doesn't go to Public Works now, but
Yeah.
if they text the 4034 number, I can make sure Heather gets it to get it put
They
on
were
the
just
list.
concerned they didn't want it counted in their garbage bag.
Right.
So, okay. Thank you.
That's all I got.
David?
No, sir.
Tyler?
No, sir.
Okay. Tammy? I do want to say one thing before we finish up here. It was mentioned earlier for Tammy and them, but as a group, I'd like to thank Wes and them and Tammy's crew for, they had a lot of things going on over the weekend. And as some of us know now, there's still a lot of things going on power-wise and tree-wise, but we had a good response from our city employees, and they got the streets passable and taken care of.
Yeah,
And
the
they'll
fire
have a long,
department was even down Sewsbury,
yeah.
down there cutting out big trees.
How many city residents do we have out of power, you know?
I'm not sure, Billy. Last I looked, it was around 2,500 for Warren in Grayson County. I'm guessing not many city residents. I think,
I know of about 5 or 6
yeah,
in my street.
I'm guessing that's few
It
though.
goes
but-
on out to the end of your street, because they're out way past the parkway.
Yeah, but they're not the city, but
Yeah.
But I don't know of any that there might be one or two that KU still got off. I saw them in town today working, so I don't think Warren will have very many in the actual city outside of McDonald Road. But then he don't know.
One side of it, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
it is,
It's left side, going out.
exactly.
Yeah, well, they said they started, Cavion was coming up, and Leitchfield would be the last place to take it.
Yeah. Okay, next chamber luncheon is March 9th at noon. Please let Lori know as soon as you can. By when, Lori?
I needed to know by noon today, so.
By noon today,
Yeah.
okay. This is the night, okay. City General Fund Money Fund, CD number 60596, matured and was renewed with the Sicilian Bank and changed to CD number 10184 for 11 months at a rate of 4.55 annual percentage yield. Auto renew would have been 9 months at 1.24. So that is, that's a pretty good jump there for those funds to draw that interest that, but we don't like to pay high interest, but we like to draw high interest. so.
Exactly.
Okay, if there's nothing else from anybody, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Clayton, second by Gina, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?